Hi, and welcome to the Scopio's audiobook, The Year Time Stopped. The audiovisual experience of The Year Time Stopped is a series we are launching as a part of The Authentic Photographer. Listen to conversations with inspiring photographers featured in our newly released historical photo book, The Year Time Stopped, The Global Pandemic in Photos. 200 stories that portray the diverse lived experiences at the beginning of the pandemic and the global uprisings that followed. My name is Christina Huatma, the founder of Scopio, a photography-focused storytelling platform with the goal of elevating human stories told by people from underrepresented communities and regions around the world. We're also the first female-founded NFT marketplace and first one focused on photography. Join us in the next episode as we start off the interviews with our beloved community of photographers around the world. Part number 1 of the book is titled Alone, and it is 9 chapters. The World Before, Empty Spaces, Hidden Heroes, Social Distancing, Lockdown Lifestyle, Virtual Living, Living in Isolation, Creativity Unleashed, and Love and Connection. Part 1, Alone. Although it was not the same for everyone, we all experienced some type of isolation in 2020. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit, everyday life as we knew was completely transformed. The images included in this part show the fear, the hesitation, even the excitement that this new way of life ushered in. They tell of mass hysteria at grocery stores as we stockpiled enough food to feed our families, preparing for the worst. They tell the story of the hospitals that were overwhelmed and the healthcare workers who turned into unlikely heroes. A lot of us had to say goodbye to our loved ones over a video call as they died alone in the hospital. Some of the stories told were of creativity in a time of isolation. Many couples found themselves having Zoom weddings when they had initially planned to see hundreds of guests congratulate them in person. A lot of us picked up new hobbies at home and discovered interests we never knew we had as we felt more and more alone in our journeys. These images are snapshots of inner workings, what was going on inside people's heads. The collective trauma being experienced took its hold in unique ways. People showed their care for their loved ones in new ways. They mourned and they grieved for those lost, as well as for the lives they were missing out on. The images that came pouring in from all around the world showed the array of locations, ages, genders, races, and classes that illustrated the vastness of the human experience. Although we were all far apart from one another, miraculously people found ways to stay more connected than ever. The global internet infrastructure and the advancement of mobile devices we had been developing for decades was put to the test like never before. It tested those who were equipped for the shift as well as those who were not. It created a disparity between the population with devices and internet access and those without. It left storytellers who didn't have internet access or mobile devices unable to share their stories with the world. Those who could not get online navigated a disconnection from the outside world in a time where we depended on technology. We relied on one another in these dark times and used our latest tools to do so. The human tendency to stay together did not go away during the pandemic. It took on new shapes and forms. Thank you for spending time with me today. Now let's jump into the interviews from artists featured in this chapter.